Hello, and welcome to the Kenya presentation for the Cairo American College trip happening in October. My name is Prasha, and I am your Client Experience Coordinator. My contact details will be provided at the end of the presentation in case you have any questions about the trip. You can also reach out to your group leaders in case of any questions, and both of us will be able to provide any additional details. Here's an agenda of what I'll be going over in the next 20 minutes. So I'll discuss some health and safety, so safety on the trip, rules and policies for our trips, packing list do's and don'ts. I'll also discuss your flights and then a walkthrough of your trip, followed by some next steps in order for you to prepare for your trip. All Midway trips have 4 pillars to them: safety, meaningful service, cultural immersion, and leadership. And throughout the presentation, I'll touch base on how your trip will touch base on these 4 pillars. Safety is our top priority at Midway. We take safety very seriously and have many policies and rules in place to ensure your safety before, during, and after your trip. And I'll go over some of these policies and protocols over the next couple slides. We have a risk management team here in Toronto dedicated to monitoring the Canadian, American, British, and Australian travel advisories. And if there's anything that is deemed unsafe, we will never run a trip. If there's anything that could impact your trip in any way, our risk management team will be in touch with the school as well as the parents, letting them know of the situation and the protocols being taken to ensure your loved one's safety. We also have our Midway emergency phone, which is available 24/7. The number is listed here, and there are staff available 24/7 to answer any calls in case of emergencies at home or while on trip. So if you do need to get in touch with your loved one on trip, while they are on the ground, please connect with a member of our team using this number, and they will either be able to put you in touch with your loved one or pass on a message to our team. If you do have a non-urgent ask or request, please email them to me directly and I can pass them on to our team. During the trip, you will have 2 Midway facilitators who I'll talk about a little bit more later in the presentation. But all of our facilitators are trained and certified in first aid and emergency protocol training. And our facilitators are in constant communication with our country teams at all times, and our country teams are then in touch with our team here at Midway in Toronto. We have medical clinics of Western Standard within 1 hour of your camp, and all travelers have AMRAF insurance or Flying Doctors Insurance, which is included in the trip cost. All of our accommodations also have 24-hour security guards. Here are just a couple health tips to ensure that you are staying healthy and safe on your trip. Wash your hands often, and this can help prevent, again, any of the travel bugs that can often occur when you travel. Drinking lots of water on your flight and throughout your trip can help ensure that you are not dehydrated. We carry filtered water with us everywhere we go. We carry large filtered water jugs everywhere, and we ask that all travelers bring a reusable water bottle, which they can fill up with water throughout the trip. Your facilitators will remind you constantly to drink water, and please make sure to listen to them and drink lots of water. Bring any prescription medications in your carry-on luggage and not your checked luggage, and this is to ensure that you have your prescription medications with you in case your checked bags do get lost along the way. Facilitators are there to support you throughout your trip regarding your health, so please make sure to reach out to them if you're not feeling well or have any questions about your health. We want this to be an inclusive experience, so we do have 3 rules that we ask all participants to follow. The first is, regardless of their age, trip participants may not smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, use illegal drugs, or purchase any related paraphernalia. The second is, participants may not engage in romantic or sexual activity with anyone for the duration of the trip. And the third is to maintain respectful attitudes and behaviors at all times on the trip. We want this to be an immersive experience as well, so we do have 2 policies in place on all of our trips. The first is our gift-giving policy. Although we appreciate the intention behind giving gifts and bringing gifts to give to community members, we ask that you do not bring any gifts or donations. And the reasoning behind this is that we have a team dedicated solely to creating a partnership with each community that we work with. And this partnership takes many years to build. And we find that bringing gifts and presents can diminish this partnership that we have and skew it. So we ask that you do not bring any gifts or donations, but the best thing you can bring is your time and your dedication and enthusiasm to learn about a new culture. We also have our photo policy in place. We ask that before you take any photo that you ask for consent and make sure that everybody in the photo says yes and agrees to be in this photo. We will never take a photo of someone as we drive by because we are not able to ask for consent from them. We ask that on the first full day that you're in the community that you avoid taking photos and take the time to build a relationship with the community members and get a chance to learn more about them. One of the rules I like to follow on trips is if you can name every single person in the photo and a fun fact about them, you've taken a great photo, and it just adds to the memory and experience. Communication on trip. On the first full day, travelers will get the opportunity to send an email home to their parents and loved ones, letting them know that they've arrived safe. From then on, emergency contacts and parents will receive updates every 2 to 3 days from Midaway. There is little to no Wi-Fi connection and cell phone reception in the Masai Mara, so all communication does go through our facilitators who have satellite phones with them. And again, if there is an emergency on trip or at home, please connect with our Midaway emergency phone number and a member of our team will be able to assist you. Cell phones are allowed on the trip, but we ask that you remove the SIM card or turn your phone on airplane mode. And this is to ensure that you are not racking up hefty data charges, which can occur on trip. We also ask that when this programming is occurring, that you put your cell phone away, and this is to help make sure that you are being immersed in the full experience of your trip. Packing do's and don'ts. We ask that you bring all of your items in a hiking backpack or a duffel bag, and this just makes it easier for you to carry your items from the transportation to your accommodations, and it is about a 5-minute walk into the camps. The roads are not paved, they are very rough roads, so it's difficult to maneuver a rolling bag. So it is best if you can bring your items in a bag that you can carry. If you do want to bring a rolling bag, you can. Just be aware that it will be difficult to maneuver and the wheels can sometimes get destroyed or damaged because of the roads. For the volunteer build site, we ask that you wear long pants, t-shirts, and comfortable, sturdy, closed-toed shoes. And this is to make sure that you are being safe on the trip and protected as much as possible from any debris. Comfortable clothing and light layers are the way to go. It can get chilly at night, so having a sweater or a zip-up hoodie is great, and having comfortable clothing during the day, loose-fit clothing is best. It can get very hot during the day, and you'll be doing a lot of activities in the sun or outdoors, so having loose-fit clothing that is either sportswear material or cool wick or sweat wicking material is perfect. Shirts must cover your shoulders and chest, and shorts must reach your knees. In terms of shoes for the campsite, you can wear flip-flops or flats at the campsite, but it is always best to make sure you have a pair of comfortable, sturdy, closed-toed shoes with you as well. In terms of spending money, we ask that you bring no more than $200 with you. You will get a chance to convert your money into Kenyan shillings at the airport, but you can also do it ahead of time if you like. Any money that you bring can be used for any food at the airport that you'd like to purchase or any souvenirs while you're on the trip. iPods and music players are great for travel, but they must be put away when programming starts. And cameras are highly encouraged. You'll get many opportunities to take photos, so you can either bring a camera or your cell phone. We ask that you bring a universal or UK travel plug or converter. All of our camps use a UK style travel plug, so having a converter is best. In terms of packing don'ts, we ask that you do not bring leggings, yoga pants, or skinny jeans, as these are tight-fitting and they can be quite uncomfortable in the heat. It is also to ensure that we are being culturally sensitive to the communities that we work in. Many of the communities that we work in are a bit more conservative in their dressing, so we ask that clothing is a bit more loose-fitting to make sure that we are being aware and culturally sensitive. We ask that you do not bring clothing with offensive logos, and shirts must cover your shoulders and chest, and shorts must reach your knees. We ask that you do not bring any gifts for the community members, and this is to follow our gift-giving policy. And we ask that you leave all valuables and electronics at home to ensure that they are safe at home. In terms of your flights, You are flying from Cairo on October 6th at 9:45 p.m. and arriving in Nairobi on the 7th at 3:35 a.m., bright and early in the morning. You'll then do your trip and then depart Nairobi around 4:25 on October 12th and arrive back around 8:10 a.m. on October 12th. We recommend that you arrive at the airport 3 to 4 hours prior to your flight's departure, and please make sure to connect with your group leaders to set up a meeting place and time with your group. Welcome to Kenya. Let's talk about your experience. When you arrive in Nairobi, you will be met by your Meet-A-Wee facilitators. All of our facilitators go through extensive facilitation training and are well-traveled and have quite a bit of experience working with youth and adults. They will meet the group in Nairobi in the arrivals area once you pick up your bags and go through customs. And they will be there with a sign that says Meet-A-Wee and Cairo American College. And they will be with the group for the duration of the trip. So they will be there from the moment you step off of the airplane after baggage to the moment you're about to get on and through security. The facilitators for your trip are David and Olivia, and you can find their welcome letters on Portal, so you can get a chance to know a little bit about them before the trip and see a picture of them before you meet them in person. Along with your facilitators, you will have expert guides. So our cultural guides are Maasai warriors who are born and raised and live in the Masai Mara, and they speak the local language. So they act as a cultural guide and a translator, and they will be with the group for the duration of the trip and doing different cultural activities with you. When you first arrive in Nairobi, you'll spend your first night at the Roslyn Center. The Roslyn Center is owned and operated by We, and it is the first stop on your trip. So all of our rooms are separated by gender and fit 4 to 6 people per room. You will have breakfast in the morning at the Roslyn Center before departing for the Mara. This is typically what the transportation looks like when you depart for the Mara. So these are large lorries that our drivers use. All of our drivers are trained mechanics and take you from Nairobi to the Mara, and these lorries are also used to get to and from different activities in the Mara. This is your home away from home, your mobile camp. So these tents may look small, but they're actually quite large. You can stand in the middle and reach your hands up way up high and still not touch the ceiling. All of our tents accommodate 4 people per tent, also separated by gender. So boys will be with boys and girls will be with girls. And there are multiple mobile tents within our mobile camp. Our camps are surrounded by electric fencing, and there are security guards that monitor the perimeter all the time. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a picture of the beds. So they are cots. All bedding is provided, as well as mosquito nets to ensure that you are being protected from bugs during the night. These are pictures of the toilets, which is on the left, and the showers on the right. So in terms of the showers, at the top you'll see a hot water bag. So you're able to release as much hot water as you need, and it's a really cool experience because you're able to look up at the sky and be one with nature as you take your shower. In terms of meals, this is a typical picture of our mess tents. So this is where you'll be having most of your meals. You will get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as snacks on your trip, and all meals are prepared on site by Meet-A-Wee chefs. We take all dietary restrictions and ensure that we are able to meet them. We can accommodate almost any dietary restriction. Meals are provided family or buffet style and are a combination of Western and local cuisine, so you can try a little bit of both. On your trip, you'll get a chance to do some volunteer work on a build site. So depending on the community and the time of the year, there could be numerous different projects that you could be working on. We always have a community foreman on site who is there to ensure that you are safe, and before any build, you will go through a building 101. So the community foreman will go through some of the safety tips, how to be safe on the build site, what needs to be done, and ensure that everything does get done. All materials are provided, as well as all safety gear, so rubber boots, hard hats, gloves, protective eyewear, face masks if needed, everything is provided. You do not need to have any experience whatsoever with building, just enthusiasm to learn. Along with the build site, you'll get a chance to do many cultural activities and learn more about the 5 pillars of sustainable development. So education, water, health, opportunity, and food. And throughout the trip, on top of the build work, you'll also get a chance to do different cultural activities that touch base on these 5 pillars. In terms of the water pillar, you'll get a chance to do a water walk with a local mama. So you'll wake up in the morning and go to the community where you'll get a chance to spend a day with a local mama. So you'll get a chance to walk a mile in her footsteps. So you'll go to a local water source and fill up your jerry cans with water and carry them back to the community. Oftentimes, women will do this 3 or 4 times a day, walking 3 to 5 kilometers one way. So you'll get a chance to learn about the importance of clean water and access to clean water in areas like the Masai Mara. You'll also get a chance to learn about the opportunity pillar. So you'll get a chance to sit down with some local mamas and bead. Beading is a traditional art form in the Maasai culture. And as you can see, many of the women do wear beaded jewelry and they spend time at building and creating bracelets and jewelry out of the beads. So you'll get a chance to sit down, learn more about the opportunities that they are getting using their beading skills, and create a rafiki or a bracelet yourself. You'll get a chance to visit the Olaleshwa farm and do a tour of the farm. And this is where you'll get a chance to learn about food sustainability and the importance of food in the Masai Mara. For education, you'll get a chance to do an old school, new school visit. So this is a picture of an old school classroom. So as you can see, it's made of mud and dirt, and it is not ventilated. It is very little light that comes in. Oftentimes there are multiple grades that are crammed into one classroom and have different teachers competing for attention for the students. So it's not a very conducive learning environment. With the help of participants like yourself and travelers like yourself, we have been able to work with communities and build classrooms. So we're turning education from this into this. So this is a typical picture of a wee classroom. So it is more sturdy, there's more light, more ventilation, and it is a better learning environment for kids. One of the really cool things you'll get to do is go on a safari. So you'll wake up bright and early and go on a sunrise safari. This is definitely a day to have your camera fully charged. You'll get a chance to go on the safari and then end your day off coming back to the camp and having a campfire and listening to some Maasai stories and culture and learn more about life in the Masai Mara. Finally, you'll get a chance to do some warrior training and do a medicinal walk. So you'll get a chance to shoot bows and arrows and throw rungus like a Maasai warrior, and you'll get a chance to go on a hike and learn more about medicine in the Mara. At the end of each day, you'll get a chance to sit down with your facilitators in your group and debrief what you've learned throughout the day and what you've seen, and learn more about some of the things that you have seen. So our facilitators will give you some context on the different pillars and why we work in those pillars in the Masai Mara. You'll also get a chance to do some modules and leadership activities, which will help hone your leadership skills. We like to say that your trip doesn't end when you leave your trip and arrive back home, but we like to say that it starts when you come back home. So if you do have any questions after your trip or would like to get involved, more involved, you can connect with me after the trip and I can pass on your details or put you in touch with a member of our We Schools team who is able to help you get more involved and stay involved. I also have a video because a video is worth more than me just talking about the experience. So I will link this in the description box at the bottom of this presentation so you can view it. Finally, in terms of next steps, please make sure to visit your portal dashboard for a checklist of items still outstanding. You'll also be able to see the welcome letter, the packing list, and the trip itinerary for your trip. If you have not signed your trip waiver form, please make sure to do so as soon as possible. We do require your waivers to be signed in order for you to travel. Waivers have been sent to your parents if you are under 18, so please make sure to check with your parents and make sure that they are signed. Start packing and get excited for your trip. Here are my contact details, so you can either give me a call. I am located in Toronto, so the time difference is can be an issue, but you can also send me an email at my email, prasha.balakumar@we.org, and I will be able to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to myself or your group leaders, and we will be able to help you before your trip. Thank you.